Howdy gamers, Old Gamer Guy here. Welcome to another Stellaris Console Edition video. It is the year 2358, and at the end of our last video we went to war with the hierarchy of Bok. I've got one fleet down here next to the border with the Bok, and I have another fleet up here in this new space that we won in our last war. I'm going to take a big chance and move that other fleet down here. Hopefully that other space will be safe. But in the meantime, this fleet on the border with the Bok has just been kind of sitting here standing guard. I have not added to this fleet in quite a while, so I'm going to add a bunch of corvettes to this fleet. Right now it's at a 70 ship maximum, and I'm going to take it up to 100. I don't know if that number stands for the number of ships, but anyway, it doesn't matter because unfortunately I only have enough alloys to build one ship, because I have stupidly ignored my alloy output. So I'm going to build alloy foundries on a few of our planets. Alpha Centauri Prime, Gossamer Prime, Ryle Somat Prime, and Abdrade Prime. We have 3 new planets up in that new space, but I'm not going to build alloy foundries up there just yet. Now I will go into the market to buy as many alloys as I can. The exchange rate is not great, but I'll buy a few alloys. And then we also have a surplus of consumer goods, so I'm going to sell some of those. The exchange rate is a little bit better for consumer goods. We also have a surplus of food because we are machines. We don't need food. Our pet humans need food. But we have a decent surplus of food right now, so we'll sell some of that and then try to buy a few more alloys. And then go back and try to reinforce the fleet again. And now we can build at least a few more ships. So we'll get started on that. But in the meantime, once again, our deal to import exotic gases has run out. I keep saying this, but we don't really need this deal anymore. But I am still going to keep it going with the cheapest option. In the meantime, if you have a shortage of alloys, it turns out your armor hit points and your ship fire rate are reduced by 75%. So that is a heavy penalty for running short on alloys, and I am short on alloys. So I'm going to buy a few more. I really can't afford to buy many more at the moment.
Construction complete.
Now at least some of our alloy foundries have been completed, so we now are positive in our alloy production, but in the meantime we have earned another tradition point. We are working on the synchronicity tree. We could make our leaders 50% less likely to fail. We could reduce our leader upkeep. Or we could reduce pop amenities usage. I'm going to reduce our leader upkeep. Our other fleet finally arrived in the Sassen system. It took them nearly 2.5 years to get here. But they have entered the system, and I'm going to let them sit here for the moment. And I'm going to send the fleet with just the corvettes into this system, which is kind of a mistake because this is one of the
Construction complete.
That's one of the more fortified space stations that the Bok have on our side.
Hostile stationary asset engaged.
I did not think this through. We still have a superior combat number, but we are losing corvettes. I think we had 88 corvettes when I gave the order to attack, and now we are down to 78, but we are winning the battle slowly. Very slowly. Now we're down to 74, but we won the battle. Thank goodness for that. You can see my ships have an automatic repair function now as long as we're in, well, I thought it was when we're within friendly space, but I think they were doing that during the battle, so I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to send them back to Sasson, let them repair and reinforce, and I'm going to send my other fleet that I brought down over here.
Complete.
This other space station would have been much more appropriate for my corvettes to attack. But now I'm sending this fleet, which is 50 corvettes, 1 battleship, 1 cruiser, and 1 destroyer. And predictably, they have an easier time.
Construction complete.
You can see the bigger ships hanging back and shooting from afar while the corvettes get in close and swarm around the space station, and we have won the battle. So now I'm going to take that fleet and move them over here. This is another space station we should be able to defeat easily, although we did lose 2 corvettes in that last battle. I probably should have bigger fleets by this point in the game, but if you have watched my Stellaris series in the past, you know that I am sort of bad about procrastinating building my fleet. I definitely dropped the ball with my alloy production, but hopefully we are on the road to recovery on that front. So now we will move that fleet back this way because there are some enemy transports here in this system that I just ignored when we flew through the first time.
Hostile fleet assets engaged.
They won't be a problem. So we'll move the fleet over here and let them sit there for the moment and repair and reinforce. Meanwhile, I will bring our other fleet back into the action.
Construction complete.
We're doing okay so far in this war, except the Bok seem to be doing a little bit better with their war exhaustion numbers, so that's not good. I'll have to keep an eye on that. But in the meantime, let's attack another Bok space station. We still have 82 corvettes in this fleet, and this shouldn't be a big problem. We are losing a few corvettes, though. The constant need to reinforce is the reason why my alloy production is kind of hampering me right now. But we won another battle, so that's good. Once again, there's some sort of an enemy ship here, some transports. No problem. And then I'll just move this fleet for the moment back over here to this choke point. Now this last Bok outpost up here toward our space is the biggest one of their outposts that are near me. So I'm going to take both of my fleets, move them up to Sawson, and then have them both attack from the same direction at basically the same time. I really would hate to have one of my fleets wiped out and then have the other one show up late and then get wiped out also.
Station engaged.
So we will attack from the north. I guess that's the north. I always keep the map oriented so the text is horizontal, and I think of the top of the map as the north. But never mind that. Open fire. We are losing more corvettes. But we are winning the battle. So now we control that line of systems that's right next to our borders, but unfortunately it doesn't look like the Kelzen are doing very well in defending their own space. They are losing systems, and that's why our war exhaustion is higher than the Bok's. So that's unfortunate. We will have to become more aggressive to make up that difference, I guess. But all the Bok ships appear to be
Construction complete.
down there attacking the Kelzen space. But we're going to get more aggressive up here, and I'm going to have one of my fleets bombard this planet. So we are going to need some attack ships. We're going to have to build some invasion troops to come over here and occupy this planet, but before we do that, we will bombard the surface for a while. Soften up the Bok, scramble their eggs, so to speak. It looks like Ryle Somat Prime is the most convenient planet to use for building our troop transports. So I'm going to recruit 10 hunter-killer armies.
Alert. Hostile fleet assets detected.
We got an alert about a hostile fleet. It is a derp coalition fleet, but it's way over here on the other side of the galaxy. I guess it was just close enough to our space up there to trigger the alert. It's not a very big fleet, so nothing really to worry about. We can get back to the war in our own space. We've completed one hunter-killer troop transport, so we need to recruit a general. Well, I guess we don't really need to, but I'm going to recruit a general here. We've got 4 to choose from. 2 of them are parts cannibalizers, which lowers army upkeep. The other 2 are demoralizers, which increase army morale damage. I'm going to go with a demoralizer. Coadjutron ZJ. Looks like the machine for the job. I'm going to wait till that fleet of hunter-killers gets a little bit bigger. In the meantime, we have earned another tradition point. Working our way through the synchronicity tree, we could lower the chance that our machine leaders will break down, or we could decrease our pop amenities usage. Collective reasoning, so I think I'm going to go for collective reasoning. Our 10-year deals with the curators and the artisans have run out once again. We get extra research and extra unity from those deals, and so I always renew them, even though they're kind of expensive. So I recruited 10 hunter-killers. I decided to wait until 5 of them were built before sending them to invade. We now have 5, so I will send them to land the armies on the planet and invade. So there they go, off to invade the enemy world. They're not exactly brave because they're machines, but whatever. They're on their way. Somebody just made peace with somebody, and it is the Derp Coalition making peace with the Cloud. Some systems have changed hands, and a new Derpian empire has been created as an ally or subject of the Cloud. It is the Derp Covenant. The Cloud has vassalized the Concordat. A bunch of things are happening here. The High Kingdom has closed their borders to us once again. The Sacred Ceraland entered into a commercial pact with the Derp Covenant, and the Serene Cannabinoids have broke their migration treaty with the Sacred Ceraland. So a lot of stuff is going on. Probably the most notable thing for us is the cannabinoids breaking that migration treaty, because that means they are getting less friendly with the Ceraland, and that might eventually cause us to get into a war. But in the meantime, you can see the division of space over on the other side of the galaxy. But back to our conflict. Our hunter-killers have finally arrived to invade this Bok planet. And this invasion is going to go very quickly, as you will see.
Planetary pacification protocols initiated.
And it's already over. So we've taken that planet. So now I'm going to move the fleet that was bombarding the planet over here to bombard this planet. And we will take our transport fleet. We landed a bunch of them on the planet here, but I'm going to go ahead and embark all of them. I think it will leave behind one occupation army. Yeah. So our general and all of our other armies are now back up in space. And I'll send them over just to kind of get in orbit around this planet and prepare to invade. And I think this is a decent spot to end this video. The war is going well. The Bok's war exhaustion is now higher than ours. So that's good. We'll pick it up here next time. As always, thanks for watching.